Hey, what's up, guys? Matthew Highland here. I hope everyone's having a good Halloween today. So we'll start off with the Bitcoin chart. This is on the 4-hour time frame. Currently, I'm watching this area of around 34.2K. I posted it on Twitter. We kind of broke below it here, came down here, got the bounce, got a few rejections. It kind of formed a mini and inverse head and shoulders here. We broke above it and since then have maintained above it. So as long as this maintains above it, I think we're likely going to get a break to the upside. Now, the only thing I'm not sure about is if this is a pennant pattern or if this is more like a ascending triangle, which would probably break almost as soon because it's almost coming to its conclusion if that is the case. Tomorrow's the FOMC meeting, so I'm kind of getting like the idea that I think this is gonna break soon, and in my opinion, because we're in an uptrend and this is a consolidation, I believe it's more likely to continue up, and I believe it's gonna end up targeting up near like the 38K area, somewhere up here. I would say, like in this range. Um, we'll see what happens. It's just been consolidating since it got up to this price, and we haven't really seen like any sort of pullback, which is a good sign. And if this is like an ascending triangle formation, the reason why it forms like this is because there's buying pressure right here, and then it goes up, comes back down, more buying pressure, and the buying pressure is increasing. So there's like a baseline of buying pressure that's pushing up slowly and slowly, and eventually there won't be any coins left to buy at that price, and then the price would move up logically. We'll see what happens. Like I said, we'll see what happens with the FOMC tomorrow. As far as the altcoins go, I've been pretty strict about my stance on them. I believe that there are a few coins that I mentioned last time that all went up actually since my last video. There's a few coins that have outperformed Bitcoin in 2023. About 99% of them haven't, but there are some that have, and those are like Solana, FET, FET, Engine, INJ, Render, RNDR. So those types of coins have outperformed Bitcoin, and it seems like they've continued that over the span while Bitcoin has been moving up. However, I do think for the alts, like in general, I do believe that we're probably very close to the alts eventually moving up. Like we're way closer to that than we are from the top or the bottom, whichever it is, the top from last cycle. So we're closer to the end, what I'm trying to say. I'm gonna look at we could look at Solana, because Solana was one of the ones I talked about like a few weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, I think around like $18, $20. I was saying this is kind of like a inverse head and shoulders pattern, and the target was around $48. However, I do think there's going to be some resistance in this area around 38 right here, but I do think it'll get up to 48 overall over the longer term. And the reason why I believe we'll run into some resistance right here is because there is resistance right there. That's resistance. That's where the breakdown started. Even if you go back, this is on the Coinbase one, there's more price history, but even if you go back here, it's before like the major move up, it got rejected. When it broke through it, it went straight up, it went straight vertical. So I do believe Chainlink Solana has a decent chance at doing something a little bit more here, and then I think we'll see like a pullback, but I do think overall it's heading up to that $48 range, and then probably get rejected, bounce around, and eventually maybe break up. And if it breaks up from there, it's going to go very vertical. Onto Chainlink. Chainlink, I think the target was around $13. I believe last night we got to close to about 12-ish. So we're watching this. I think the slightly longer term target, maybe over the next few weeks, month, is around $18. Chainlink actually wasn't one of the ones that outperformed Bitcoin, but Chainlink's fundamentally, I believe, stronger than like 99% of the alts. There's a lot of stuff being built on it. So I think it's still like a great project overall. in my opinion, and that's why it's outperforming like the rest of the market currently. Let me see where else we can go to. I'm gonna look at FET, FET. I think I mentioned this in my last video, and that was like 3 days ago or 4 days ago, and the price was around like 26 cents, I believe. It was around like this area, 28 cents. It went up from 28 cents all the way up to around 38. I think it does have to pull back. I'm not sure how far, maybe like this area, around 32. It did pull back to around 33.8. If I look on the smaller time frame, if it does somehow, actually this is interesting because I was marking this earlier. If this does actually, if it is able to close back above this resistance, there is a chance that this can keep going up. So we'll monitor that. We'll pay attention to that. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna go over to the stock market now. Let me see if I can find it. This is the S&P 500. So the S&P 500 has had this brutal move down, and this is kind of like the last like area of support right here. And for now, it's bouncing on the weekly, which is a very good sign for now. If it starts closing weeklies below the support, it's probably going to come all the way down here, which it will get ugly, and a lot of people will be calling for like doomsday and whatnot. And you know what? Maybe they end up right. Currently, crypto hasn't been really correlating with the major indices, so I'm not sure like what would happen if that happens with crypto. But for now, it hasn't been reacting with it. But anyway, like to me, it looks like it's getting a bounce. And if it could start closing above here, closing dailies and maybe the weekly candle above here, I think we'll get like a rally, maybe up to like this area, and then we'll see what happens. Maybe that is the bottom for now. Maybe it's not. We'll see where that goes. Let me see if there's anything else. I'll just look at another coin like Aave, for example. I don't hold. I'm not like holding this or anything, but this coin is like similar to Chainlink, where it's consolidated for around the same period of time. It's kind of like looking for a breakout here. This is kind of like a higher high, but I think you'd want to see it kind of clear, like around like this area. If you can get through this, I think like above $95, I think that would be a very bullish sign for Aave. Let me see. Let me load up a coin that hasn't like done good against Bitcoin, just to show as an example. Let me see if I can find one that I would like to show. I have like mostly the ones that have gone up against BTC. So this is like Engine. If you look at this chart, it's just gone down against BTC, and really like this chart, you'd want to start seeing it put in like higher highs, at least get like through this area, and then get through this area as well. And a lot of altcoins look like the same, so if you like load up a lot of these charts, they look very similar. So if it can get like through here and then here, I think that would like pique my interest. Let me go to the Bitcoin dominance also. Let me see if I can find that real fast. Bitcoin dom. If Bitcoin dom drops, it'll probably be beneficial for the alts, but it's been in an uptrend. We were watching this last night. We're seeing if we can get like a break below, but it seemed to have bounced. So we'll kind of like monitor and see if it continues to bounce or if it keeps going higher. But like I said, I think we're closer to this topping. Maybe it might not top for another month or until the ETF is approved, but I do think we're like getting close to it. I think that's it. On a side note, I know people have been messaging me from time to time asking if I have any paid services. I might do like a Patreon type of thing just to like expand my thoughts. I would still keep everything the same on Twitter. I wouldn't like not put out as much information as I currently do. It would just be more like an extension, maybe more into like more alts if people were interested in that. I would probably keep it like very low price charge if I did do that. I've never done anything like it before, so I'm kind of like hesitant to actually do it because I've just never done it before, and it would take like commitment, but I think I could do it. And I think there's a lot of people interested in it. I just have to think about it. I want like kind of like feedback if people would be interested. If not, I'm not really sure. Like, I just have to see. Let me see. There was some requests I have gotten actually, so I know DOT. People were asking about DOT, so I'll do DOT. Let me see DOT. So DOT is like a clear, like right here. This is clear resistance, right? And you're seeing DOT break above it. This was around 420. That's a positive sign for DOT, right? And you'd want to see this like continue. You'd want to see it get above this, but ultimately if it can get above like the 574 mark, that would be extremely bullish. And I know like people would say like, well, it's only 440 right now, so if it got above 574, I would have missed out on that move. But overall, it's even at 575, it still would be down over 90%, I believe. But if it did get above this, I think it's like a confirmed like type of bottom. I think someone was asking about Filecoin. Let me see. Filecoin. I'll take a look at it. I haven't like looked at this chart at all, so let me see what it's looking like. I'm gonna put it on the 3-day time frame. The price history doesn't go as far back, but it's like the same thing. It's held up over here since last year, which is a positive sign that it at least held these lows, because some alts actually broke below their November 2022 lows. But I think you'd want to see it get above this area, which is like around like the 633 range. I think a lot of these alts are just a few months behind, like Solana and Chainlink and a few others I had mentioned. I think in a few months from now, we'll start to see a lot of these get these moves up and start to turn around. It's just more about like timing, and if you want to invest capital into stuff where you're going to have to wait while other things are moving, while you can invest in the things that are moving and then convert them back into the things that you would have been waiting for, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's basically it. I'm going to try to keep doing these videos. This one was a little longer. I don't even know how long it is. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll be back.